afternoon. I'm here with Mr. Tamberelli and interviewing him for the IB alumni panel, and he's going to give us some good information for any potential IB students. Without further ado, what is the purpose of the IB alumni panel?
Well, Armando, the purpose of the panel is basically to provide information to existing students on the variety of different industries and different types of jobs that are available for IB students upon graduation because of the breadth of the training that they get both from an academic perspective and a co-curricular perspective. So it's to create an awareness for students who are fairly new and have the question, well, what kind of a job can I get with IB? And they will find out that the answer is virtually unlimited in terms of, again, industry, responsibilities, and the scope. So that is the purpose of the panel, is to actually inform the students. It's a 1-hour presentation. It happens in the fall and in the spring semesters. And after each panelist will introduce themselves, they'll talk about the name of their company, they'll talk about what industry it's in case that's not apparent. They will talk about what their roles and responsibilities were and how they believe that the IB program helped them to earn that position by the knowledge that they learned in the classroom, as well as some of the focus on co-curricular things that we work on, such as negotiating skills and presentation skills. So there's a lot of that.
All right. Can any IB alumni join the IB alumni panel?
Well, the panel is by invitation only, but typically I put out something on LinkedIn in each semester asking for volunteers. And certainly volunteers are always welcome to approach me and say, I'd like to do this. I've had several that would like to do it again, so I may invite them back as well. But it is open to any IB alum who wants to take an hour of time out of their day to share their story and their business and their roles and responsibilities with our current students.
All righty. What kind of skills learned from the IB program help the IB graduate most to find a job?
Well, I think the skills that help them most is not only the variety of topics that we teach, which cover every major spectrum of business operations, but also the co-curricular activities that are done, such as faculty members coaching sessions on how to do an elevator pitch, how to do salary negotiations, and also some of the soft skills that we work on as a part of the program. And we have designed soft skills to be a part of every class. Some overlap, some do not, but by the end of the program, students have gotten exposure in doing things like having difficult conversations, being able to think critically, most importantly, being able to present well. Because obviously when you're in an interview, you are presenting yourself. So you need to do the best possible job in order to convince that prospective employer that you are the person that you should hire. And I know in talking to employers that our IB students do very, very well when it comes to interviewing. They do better than any of the other majors that they speak with in the College of Business. And we're obviously very proud of that. But that has been included into each course content by design, not by accident. So we have spent a lot of time as faculty figuring out what class can concentrate on what. Some classes are more heavy on critical thinking and on problem solving, such as mine. Other classes are more heavily focused on presentations and being able to present on a regular basis. So it's all of that in combination that answers that question.
All right. What preparations outside of class do you recommend for IB students do to find a job?
Well, I strongly recommend that they get involved in networking. I strongly recommend that they join the Student Association, the IBPA, because networking is a very, very important component. The more people you know and the more people who know you and what your capabilities are, the more opportunities that are available for you. So it's a very important thing. I would also encourage them to attend all of the college-sponsored functions that involve having employers on campus. Going around, meeting someone, getting business cards, and then actually taking the time to write a personal handwritten thank you note to each one of those people, thanking them for their time and discussing with you is really important. It's icing on the cake. It leaves a lasting impression. And they may not have a job for you now, but if something comes up in the next 6 months, they're going to have you in mind and they'll probably reach out to you. So those types of activities are very, very important.
All right. And lastly, do you have any other advice for IB students or recent graduates?
Well, the only advice I have is that despite the fact that these are difficult times because of the pandemic, there are still a number of companies out there who are hiring. And I frequently have events that I sponsor with career services, which is a great resource in the university, that bring in employers who actually are hiring, despite the fact that a lot of industries have been negatively impacted. Some industries are actually in quite a growth mode right now. So it's knowing what those industries are and spending some time to understand more about them to see whether or not there are opportunities there that the individual would be something that they would be qualified for, but also something that they would be interested in doing would be very important. Because again, just because of the pandemic, there are some things, some industries are challenged, but other industries are growing. So it's being aware of that by staying in touch with the folks from the Career Services Group here at UCF.
All right. Well, thank you very much for doing this interview with me, Ms. Tamberelli.